Hello and welcome back, my friends. It's Hambbage here, and we're ready for another hardcore vanilla Minecraft session. Let's get this slide out of the way and get you guys back to the slow cooker world. It looks like the aliens are attempting to communicate. That's a known script from something, or oh, maybe that's from the runes. Although I don't think that really looks like the Minecraft stuff. I don't know. Anyway. Let's open up this world, and I want to do one thing quick before we get too far back into it here. And let's see if I can remember how to do it. Man, always something. Thought it was the tab. It's the tilde. Oh, back to tilde. Well, I'm gonna have to obviously that's shift control. Not alt. Give me 1 second here. I wanna make sure I get this real quick. So just bear with me just a second. Because I normally play single player, it's usually a mistake when I open up the little text box. Slash. Slash? Let's give it a shot. Hey, there we go. I believe it's just that. Okay. Appreciate the patience here, guys. Just jotting this down, because I don't even know how, if you can copy and paste out of the command line in Minecraft. Oh, what? Are you? Come back here. Go away. Flipping pages here like a 20th century person. What's going on? 761 8911 84388 9303. Yeah, so shout out. I could certainly be getting fooled by a bot. Oh, no. Just go. There we go. All right, we're back. And sorry for the distraction. Now, I may totally be getting trolled by a bot. I don't know. I had a commenter back on one of our past worlds enter a seed request. And unfortunately, I didn't even think about it. I probably should have. I watched enough content to know people enjoy seeds. So I said, I replied back and said, sorry, didn't grab the seeds on the past worlds. But because the person actually responded to my reply and just said, okay, which could be a bot, it doesn't take much for AI to respond with just a, okay, I got a response. And for all I know, that's all it was. But I did say, I replied back and said, look, when I next have a play session, I will grab the current world seed and put it back in as a reply to that comment, and I'm also going to throw it in the comment for this video. And for anybody watching who may see this seed, for one thing, I'm posting that because we've already found a lot of the stuff that you would typically use for seeds, or we have the means to, right? Like, you can put in seed generators that will then basically go through and pull your map, and so the seeds are a deal. So what'll happen is somebody will take a seed of a hardcore world, streaming and all that kind of stuff, and then they populate the world with cheats on, not in hardcore, and they'll pull all kinds of hints about the world. Just like everything else that I talk about in hardcore, cheating to me is you're just trolling yourself. Really, you're shortening the enjoyment that you have out of the game. And it goes. I haven't really talked about this part at all much recently, but so many people that are, Minecraft's a boring game. You know, you do all this stuff and like in 15 minutes it's over. You got all the content done. Well, not that you're playing it wrong. You're playing it the way you want to, but the way that I play it gives me potentially years of enjoyment from a single world. And that is to play the game as kind of built, you know, in that sandbox mode where if you're playing hardcore, you got to go find those things. So please, 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 as a favor to me, you know, you're not going to be trolling because these are all videos, but if you drop in a comment that says, hey, you've got, you know, blah at Quartz blah, I'm gonna ignore it because I'll appreciate the comment. Do enjoy comments and look forward to you guys sharing your thoughts on the world, how it's shaped up, and all that kind of stuff. But I also want to play my own world, you know, and I'm not looking to rush through any of that kind of content. So that's kind of the deal as we currently stand. Now other than wanting to get back in here and do stuff, I'm a little at a loss as to what we're currently looking to do. I don't have a big plan on today's episode, but we'll kind of wing it. A couple things I wanted to touch on, and honestly, this morning I had to run both dishwasher and washing machine, so I've had just constant noise. Unfortunately, you know, TMI, but all the like socks and stuff that I washed today, they aren't going to wrinkle, right? So I can let them sit there damp and then run the dryer when I go out for a kind of a midday walk. It's supposed to be another nice day today, so I'm going to get outside and enjoy the day a bit. But I want to get an episode up and posted, especially since I'd had a comment and I did not have that seed value to provide. And again, particularly because we found enchanted golden apple, we found the end portal. You know, we found all the various structures in the Nether, and you know, we don't have a lot of hidden things left to worry that, oh, you know, somebody came in and now it's just there nagging out of mind, like, oh, you should just go get it. You know, somebody already told you where to go. And we have Woodland Explorer maps, so we can basically go around and find / generate plenty of woodland temples. We've still got one stored over at the Badlands base, and that's oh, come on, cook faster. I'm talking here. That's another one that we can go explore and play around with. So very okay with giving out the seed at this point in this world. Now that I remember that, and that could be something people might want to, you know, generate the world and see how they can do in it. My apologies for not doing it sooner. That's really good, and I will make an effort to note. You know, hopefully we're in this world for years and we forget about it by the next time, and you guys have to remind me if you want it. But I now have this one. When we're not live, I'm going to add it to the notepad where I have all the coordinates for this world, and we'll have it so that at the end of the world, you know, whenever I do die, I can share that out. Now, I don't know. A lot of people, you know, ask about available downloads and stuff. So worlds, that's a little further out from me. With the seed, you know, you could get it, but if I do die and lose access to this world for playing, do I have to just have a current backed up file of that, or how does that work? And, you know, what people like there? Again, I don't know. I don't know enough. I've never tried to download somebody else's world, and don't getting that tap dancey noise. Um, don't know, whether I'll get to that point or not. But I guess it would be good to know. Is that something you have to do before you die, or once you've died, can you then grab the world and open it up to others to play? Will it, can you create that world as it existed before the death? Um, I don't know. So if anybody's got insight or has a reference they can point me to for that, like, oh, here's what to do, that'd be cool. Not a top priority, but just something that occurred to me when the seed request came through, and yeah, for the commenter that requested that, I'll do my best to keep them out there. So, what I'm trying to do here is we just talk and walk around in circles and occasionally kill creepers. I would like to get these recouped if I can, but maybe we just top off and go. We've got more space back at the base, and the other cooker back at the base, and can just, these will cook whenever we're back here. And aren't going to overflow the chests, I don't think. Should we give you guys one last whack? Just so you're not lonely and stuck in a tunnel. It's a compassionate clearing. And it's kind of fun. We got almost enough to name our first bow. Again, horrible oops on the naming bit. And I don't know that we'll name and collect every bow. We may, but that's a huge price tag. So we'll see. We don't want to go there. We've got a portal. Why would we go through traveling around by a boat or wings like a savage when we've got an awesome portal room? And like I said, I won't do this every time. I don't know why those guys are so attracted to it. For anybody who may have missed it or not joined us, this is our portal hub. Temporary filling with the netherrack. We want to do glass. That's why we're cooking so much of it right now. So we'll be doing a glass ceiling up. Well, I don't know about the ceiling, because we still don't know what this space is going to completely look like. But all of these side panels certainly are going to get filled in, and we can maybe get started on that a bit today. And all of our tunnels, we've kind of worked out the arrangement here where we'll have large sections of glass, so that as we're going through open areas in the nether, we'll be able to see around and see what all's out there. So that's what we're thinking. Kind of the current work in progress. When we get back here and we load up the other glass system here, we've got to do a couple more things that came about. I'll certainly talk about those as well here. Did I put those back into the deal? Why didn't I just keep them out in my inventory? Sand and sand. Alright, so we'll load up this cooker at least. It's not a double, unfortunately, but hey, you live and learn. What? That one. And I think we should have enough space for all this. So as you can imagine, based on that, we got lots of glass that we're going to need for ongoing projects. That doesn't even include the base. And we'll go upstairs here and get a quick look above ground as well. Okay. I am hanging on to that rabbit because I don't know that we ever made rabbit stew to eat. And not, we're not pressing on the eat everything advancement at the moment, but because I don't really raise rabbits, each time I get one, particularly uncooked, now that the bows are all going to have flame. Whoa, that's an oversight. Let's not be leaving doors open. What's up, S'more? Hey, buddy. How you doing? How's your flower? Oh, it's gorgeous. Good job. Keep watching it. Scare away those creepers. All right, let's say hi to the rest of the friends. Guava, what's up, pal? Oh, you're looking beautiful today. You practicing those creeper sounds? Well, I just killed a bunch of them, so yeah, you make up for the loss. Let's come on up and salute our world flag. All hail slow cookery. Can't really see the detail too much on top of our flagpole, but it is lit up, so we can see it at night. Okay, sort of. You know what? Go down the ladder. We forgot how to work ladders. Here's the family hanging out in the bulk of the flag gallery. Again, we have Pig Snout, we have Globe, we have the old Mojang logo, and we have the flower. We're waiting on two more. We need a Wither Skelly skull, and we need a Charged Creeper skull. And we got a lot of work to do to get those couple. But very good start for where we're at in the world. So here's the family again. So everybody should know Salty. He's our original friend and dog. And then Savory, we just met a couple episodes ago. Presumably Savory is his girlfriend, but no distinctions made. However it works between you guys in this world. And then Sprout is their little puppy. And Sprout hasn't quite grown up yet, but his name will remind us when he does grow up that he's the child. So I mentioned one more thing I wanted to do back at base here, and we'll do it real quickly. But I discovered another YouTube channel today, and I want to take a chance to give a shout out because I think very honestly, it is one of the cooler channels I've seen in a long, long time. I wish I had a little bit better of an angle. I think that'll kind of give our scale here. Oh, dang it. Okay. So something like that. Probably have some torch particles in that. Nope. Stop. There. Okay. Free of torch particles. So, I discovered a YouTube channel. As I've said, waiting on dishwasher and laundry and everything else, lots of background noise. I wasn't going to be recording anything myself, and I took that opportunity to go out and explore, look for other content. New channels and people that aren't the 5.9 million views per episode, that kind of stuff. People that have limited stuff. So I found on YouTube JDMC, JAY, capital DEE, capital DEE, and then capital MC. And JD's content was fantastic. The first one I saw was, like a few hours old, or a few days old, or whatever video. And it was a part of a building tutorial in survival. And I having watched one video, I know I'll be back. And I want to take some time to shout out some praise for what I found there, because it was really, first of all, just absolute kudos. And Grant, it looks like he's been going for over a year now. But I mean, an amazing 19,000 subscribed people in YouTube, and that he's got channel presence and probably been doing some promotional stuff and all that. Who knows? But his stuff looks so professional. The video I happened to watch was a beetroot. Okay, so I think we need one of those, and then we need a potato, and we're gonna need a carrot. I think maybe a mushroom of some kind. Let's go get a carrot. Um, yeah, here's we'll take a look at the base too. For anybody, we haven't been here in a minute. Oh, sun's going down. So, got our animals and stuff. This was our original tower. That's the one with the flagpole. That was our kind of home to start. After we dug up the stairs, the little flower that S'mores looking after there, that was really our very, very first base. Just a literal, expansion on our staircase down to go get diamonds. And then we built the tower quickly. We, wanted to have an actual indoor home as opposed to just a bed and some chests laid out on the ground. Kind of that's grown into our building site. So we built a bit of a wall, kind of as a beginning point, and have fairly recently added a gate tower on the front. Along the way, we've brought back a few jungle trees and envisioned that in kind of a somewhat inspired by, the era that Magellan was in when European powers were discovering, in quotes, the Far East and, the resources of spices and things like that. They were bringing those back, and a lot of times would create these colonies which were fortified, but also, a home of basically, in a different planet. It would be the equivalent today of setting up a habitat on Mars, right? They were so far away, years journey, just like Mars, same kind of time frame. Obviously, they could breathe the air and everything. They don't need to have some of those kind of needs met, but they okay. We need a brown. Oh, and we need to bake the potato. We can do that. Probably have a baked potato, but we need a brown mushroom too. I think one of those is downstairs. This is why I like to get this one out of the way. It is by far the most complex cooking recipe in Minecraft. And since we're just running around the base a little bit, kind of talking and touring, I figured this would be a good opportunity. So, sorry, I kind of sidetracked on the base there. Yeah, we're building this idea of, kind of a walls fortification on a coast. So in the sense that it's a harbor reached by boat, early game stuff, that's how we travel. And we've kind of outgrown that. Obviously, we've got a nether portal hub, we've got wings, all that kind of stuff. So we don't need to use that as much. And this is what I was saying. This was kind of our initial quarry. This is still largely our base camp. For a while, we had our base chest set up right here. We've since expanded this, and it is kind of the supplies for building on our base. Various sandstones, various building supplies and things here. Just, ready access. So, yeah, we built when birch logs were kind of a thing, and I've decided I don't want to just replace that, at least not yet. It's kind of a, first settlement, historical. So, good enough. We'll close that door so we don't end up with anything in. We've got our water access here for our boats. And now we have a baked potato, so we should... Ooh, look at that. One fresh bowl of rabbit stew. Carrots can go up. Now I'd just eaten a steak. So yeah, we here in our world, we're kind of looking at that as our inspiration for this building area, and this being our main base, and probably will be for quite a long time. So this is kind of the landward wall. Land does extend back that way quite a ways. And we've done a little bit of cutting for eventual possible roads and things like that. Just out in the distance beyond that tree, you can see a row of red sandstone. We've actually laid dimensions for a large tower, which is actually going to be 3/4. It will have a right angle of wall inside of it, but then will be circular around and extending out into the water. So that'll be one entrance, and I envision that we'll have an internal harbor here, for larger our expeditions. As we said, this is kind of modeled on, Portuguese hybrid, right? It's all kinds of various fortifications, but I thought the big sandstone walls and things would be nice. And again, those pockets captured the idea of not only secure against the mobs, but also places where you lived and worked, so we can do lots of building in terms of, general stores, kitchens, bunkhouses, stables, churches, whatever we want to add in there. I guess it would be more chapel than anything else. But those are our kind of main digs at the moment. As you can see, we've got one break in case of emergency enchanted golden apple. Probably we'll save that for our first wither fight and munch it then. Or if not needed otherwise, we'll either save it to do the foods advancement, or how do we get here? And we can use it for either one of those. So yeah, that's a quick kind of tour of what we've got. We do have the Badlands base, which I love construction-wise. But we've been there a lot recently, and don't need to just run all that way, even through the Nether. That's a quick run. So you saw we got most of our furnaces have been moved over to the darkroom spawner and are cooking there, but we did set up just a few more. Ooh, got some extra smooth red. So that way we can be cooking whether we're here or back at the darkroom. But in JD's very cool. He's got a Minecraft school, which lots of people do tutorials, but I definitely recommend checking him out. JDMC on YouTube. He's on Twitch as well, and I plan on checking out some of the live stream stuff as well. But he's made this kind of school approach to it, and has classes. And his, I've talked about video editing, and I don't even know what software to use yet. His stuff looks so tight when he works on it. Going through any kind of lesson plans and tips and things that pop up as overlays on his videos. Really, really cool stuff. And I hope maybe he's got more tutorials on his site. I didn't have enough time to really continue to look through, but that would be something I would really, I think I would benefit from a whole lot, is having somebody that talks about, these are the things that I do in producing YouTube content. And I know I didn't watch it, but I saw that there was one video that was what not to do when recording YouTube videos, and I'm sure we've done everything he says not to do. Maybe with the sole exception of eating while recording. That's usually one that gets on the lists. But I really enjoyed the building style. A lot of there wasn't a lot there that I hadn't thought of or tried. But, to his viewers, you can see there's token efforts to what he's doing in terms of building. I like to use fence posts and things for little bits of detail. Here in this tower, this is basically just a guardhouse waypoint. Anybody that needs to get into the gate, which these are temporary, we'd like to do some retracting gates set up eventually. But yeah, here you got a little guard check post where somebody could be hanging out, and if you're approaching from outside, you've got to show some kind of verification to be admitted, and then just color scheme with the various sandstones. So very much builder, kind of beyond my own heart. He's specifically making a building series, and he apparently does an SMP adults play Minecraft. I don't know what all that is, if that's something that would be my cup of tea or not. in terms of viewing. I'm not oh yeah, you should put me on your S&P kind of deal. Now that's a little too Twitch fanboy for me. I like playing solo, and I'm good with that. But his style, at least in approaching things, his kitchen, I was like, oh man, I can't wait to do a kitchen here and add in the elements of kind of period building. So you can't just have quite a modern kitchen, but you kind of work with the elements that you have and the conventions people have arrived at. So in case you can't tell, I really do not know what we want to do next. But since we're in kind of tour mode anyway, and we're taking stock of what we have, let's do a quick turn of the crops, right? And since we always get hungry when we're harvesting the potatoes and the carrots and all that kind of stuff, this will be a good chance for us to eat a rabbit stew too. Then we don't have to carry it around. So, Fortune Ho. Remember, all those of you who are following along and may not know, Fortune, awesome for potatoes and carrots. Ooh, looks like we've had an Enderman busy around here. Not so awesome in my... Oh, no, actually we switched that because we've talked about our bone project. So we want to actually get as many seeds as possible and use our bone meal making machine to start stockpiling those as well. That's the other thing about hoe harvesting all these is, I think if we get lucky, I thought I could hit it in stride. Nope, not at all. But we got a lot of potatoes. So we'll sleep out here. We should be pretty safe. We've cleared back a lot of trees and things, but we don't need a creeper trying to seize vengeance for all of his fallen comrades. I should have grabbed a chest as we were getting started. Do brown this time. Oh, man. We'll get that in a second. Potatoes. Extra potatoes. Really, we haven't harvested in a while, so well, out of practice. Get that back down. Let's go get this other potato before we forget about it, or it despawns. All right. And I guess we should... Oh, now you go? Takes... an age to set everything up, and then 1 second to get hungry again. Why? Because we're trying to go... Oh, this is so... This is how not to efficiently harvest and plant crops. don't do multiple rows. I was just so excited to be back to doing it again. I totally forgot about replanting, but it is far faster to just accept that you hoe a row, you replant, and then start again. You'll do faster overall, and we totally forgot on the potatoes. I think the potatoes will pretty much wash. We went high speed, harvested everything, but then we had the cluster. If we had planted as we were going, those 4 extra stacks would have converted back into space, and we wouldn't have had all the capacity issues. So I do think when you're going Fortune 3, just do each row. Come back. When you're going backwards, you won't miss any spots. Hopefully. Now watch me miss some. But yeah, this is a pretty darn decent way to get your crops all turned. And that was the one we just harvested for our stew. So no shame to you, Carrot, that you're slow. Our bees, of course, are helping. We haven't even said hello to the bees. They are the heroes of our farm here. I love how much this world has grown. And every Minecraft world is gonna have the stories and the kind of the fun that go along with it. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, what? That was not what I wanted to have happen. You go back in, and then we'll put that one as a partial here, just in case we need potatoes, so we don't have to off-cycle. Okay, let's get these done as quickly as possible. This is just a mess. Again, I apologize. I had no idea what content we were going to be doing here today, and in kind of touring, I was like, oh, it'd be fun to harvest the fields. I guess I just didn't even take time to remember what all was entailed there. And I should have harvested melons and pumpkins before we even started, so we could get the extra benefit. Do not do these things when you're trying to farm efficiently. Yeah, if we were really trying to gather emeralds or anything, or XP, or purposefully farming, I think I would have been more attuned to get in here, use the axe on the melons and the pumpkins, then come over and do these. Probably do them row by row. The pumpkins and the melons, I think, helped me get in that mode. But, of course, we didn't. Okay. Now, let's pick this guy up. Hopefully, as we're doing all this, we're still cooking glass. I hope we're in close enough proximity that that's still running. That would be a benefit. I'm kind of counting on it, actually. Okay. We need another box to start filling here. Put those in the carrot boxes. Most of this storage is just left over from beginning the world when we didn't have... Probably also didn't help that I didn't have my axe in my inventory. I haven't netherited up our axe yet. We've done 2 picks and 2 shovels so that we can, kind of get a bunch of sand. That was what we did in our last episode, I believe. And obviously, spent some time in the last episode filling the glass back up. repairing the shovels, all that kind of stuff over at the darkroom spot. So that's why we have the bulk of our ovens right now there, is just to allow us to maximize our effectiveness. While we're standing around waiting for a darkroom spawner to drop creepers, we're also cooking glass here while we're harvesting melons, or just walking around, talking about what we've done, what we want to do. We're cooking glass. Maybe not at as great a rate, but we're still cooking. We'll just do one more pass here because I'm a little afraid I missed some pumpkins to start. Doesn't look like it, though. Alright, well, only 2 crops left to go. This has not been a speed harvest. But, yeah, we're just kind of inadvertently touring a bit and decided that maybe that would be a good deal. Now, this is going to get ridiculous. Let's see how we do with one. I've never intentionally tried to max the seeds. And again, with fortune on the hoe, you don't get extra beets or wheat. These two are the same. But you do apparently get extra seeds. And yeah, that's a lot of seeds. So we'll maybe do 2 and then dump the seeds. And I guess maybe just setting up a different shulker, because we're going to want to take them downstairs anyway, would be a good idea. We're now getting over close enough that you can kind of see the bee setup over on my right as we go back and forth. For anyone who's not familiar, those are bee nests and bee hives. And as they begin to come back into view here, we can talk about them a little bit. Gotta get close or far enough so that they're visible. I guess they're not as much when we're planting the seeds because we're looking down more. But there you can kind of see the honey dripping off of them. Right now, we care far much more about having the bees than about having the honey. Honey's great and all, but we're not consuming it. So we've just, kind of watched all the hives to make sure everyone's got occupants and we're, bred up. And we are, and the bees seem to be happy and doing well. But until we need a bunch of honey blocks or are using one of the, let's do lime for seeds. That seems like a good seed color, right? All right, let's try to get beets done here before we go into full night. And then we'll just do wheat and go run over and see the villagers. Got an itchy chin. So we're about 40 minutes into our video here, and I think maybe what we'll do is once we've wrapped up, no, not that way. Once we've wrapped up with our villagers, maybe we will go all the way back over to the Badlands, just get a full everything in one episode kind of tour and see. We should still, man, oh man, that wears you out. It was a 2-staker kind of a day yesterday. Okay, now yeah, if we do the run, we'll kind of put everything in the world in for an impromptu day. That's not too terrible. Ooh, got more reharvesting. Must have gotten a spider in or something. Or I did it inadvertently at some other point. So yeah, now we can see more of our bees there. So we did a pattern, a couple of bees nests per section, and then the rest are manufactured hives. So you can see in the middle, the more yellowy ones, those are natural bee nests, and they're really how you start beekeeping in Minecraft. You can't just produce bees or put out a hive and expect bees to come, much like the real world. That's not exactly how it works. You've got to, even if you're going to raise your own bees, you got to get a queen from somewhere to start your hive. In our case, or in Minecraft's case, there's random chances for trees in certain biomes to just produce bee nests. And one way to get them, if you don't find any in your spawn, is to create a kind of a tree farm and just repeatedly chop and harvest trees. Make sure that there's flowers around. You have to have flowers in proximity to the trees to have a chance of a beehive. But if you do that enough, and if you need wood anyway at the start of your world, that can be a good way to get just a few bees going, kind of right by your home. And then as you get going, once you get Silk Touch on an axe, which is one of my top, before I worry about Silk Touch for mining or anything else, I want it on my axe, because I want melons to trade. They are so good at building up your emeralds quickly. And I want to get bee nests so that I can do exactly this, line up a whole bunch of bees, and then they're going out, and each time that they float over to a crop, they're effectively bone mealing it, just, by themselves. No extra effort required on our part. Here's some seeds. Wheat, I don't know, but I always feel like we're low. And we don't have any pressing need to harvest cows or anything either, but we'll just go ahead and do it. Now we'll do one more pass through melons and pumpkins. And then we'll get going. So, earlier, I'd been talking about JDMC, and I'd been talking about how he did this cool school format for a tutorial series. And he's got a bunch of different series, just like we do. We have Current Worlds and Lost Worlds and Dreadmore and everything else. He's got this tutorial session amid a lot of other stuff that he's produced over the year. And I thought it was so kind of well done in a friendly tone and pace, and a nice blend of editing and having the actual content. One thing he did that I actually commented, I was like, this is really cool, was he actually did all his building in pure vanilla, or as close to pure vanilla as I could see. So it looked like all the standard textures. And then at the end, he said, and this is one of my favorite textures that I like to use to look at my buildings. And I forget the name of it. You go check out the video. I think it was like episode 26 maybe of his tutorial. And it was like interior design and storage, I think, were his subcategories, if you're looking to check it out. Anyway, not required, but in this kind of Minecraft school format, he talked about or he put in, instead of like a poll or something for comments, he said, all right, your pop quiz for the comments is, what do you prefer functional or decorated for your internal structures, and what do you do? What's your storage solution? And then at the end, he said, come on over and drop a screenshot of your storage into my Discord. Okay, so this portal here, wow, that's a loud ghast, with so many This is good. We don't want pigmen getting in. I don't even know what would happen if our golems ran into a pigman. That could be an ugly fight. So this is our lodge, and I'll give an outside view as well. But here we have all of our villagers set up. And the key to any good... Oh, I didn't drop off the stupid seeds. We have that one, and then brown, I believe. The key to any good villager trading setup... Let's get this lime out of here right now. We want capacity. And we don't need the hoe anymore. Starts with farmers. Most every world that I use, unless there's a reason not to, I start with farmers because I can be building up my emerald supply while I'm then expanding the location. And wow, you guys are so loud today. I don't know how my game volume got increased, or if that's just my system volume. Maybe I'm a little louder there. So I set up a space, and in this one I actually kind of planned out and built the whole structure first, and then filled it in with villagers. But I made all these guys farmers, and some of them even will trade for. Oh, I always forget. They're not real good at managing stacks until after they have an extra spot to work with. Alright, I should have pulled this. As long as we're getting XP, always top things off. So these are, these are pretty low stakes. We're really just trying to build up sales with a couple of the farmers. And you can see I've done this enough times. Everybody's a master. There's no real need to target one over another. If they want something I've got... Oh, I don't have carrots on me. And the trick is always you find everybody that wants the one thing you don't have, and then when you... They should be pretty balanced. I think we're weighted in favor of beets in this one. And those just kind of came as like secondary ingredients as we were trying to balance out the rest when setting up the initial trades. And, you're welcome to check back into the earlier videos. It was first 10, 12 or so. I think we were setting this up pretty early on. Now as we've gotten into more building stuff, the pace of play in my life is going quicker. Recording several multi-hour sessions because like the darkroom spawner that I just did recently. Once I got going on it, I don't want to kind of break up my flow in the middle of that. So yeah, let's put these over into the extras. At the moment, we don't have anybody, but we may end up with more. Let's pick up these few extras. More carrots. And then we'll stock up on those next. Oh, bedtime. So this is a good time to chat while they're sleeping. Just for a little bit. So I know there is a huge movement to infect and heal your villagers when you go through. And I've found 2 igloos way out in that direction and in that direction with villagers that I've healed that were already beneath the igloo floors. So those guys are doing great, but they're not convenient at all. It doesn't make sense to go 8,000 blocks in one direction just to get a trade and save a few emeralds when you have all these already just sitting around, and I've got blocks and blocks. Not quite enough for a full beacon, but really darn close to a full beacon's worth of emeralds already. And as you can see, one fortune. I've got a bunch of extra diamond picks already with Silk Touch in here. I think I'm up to 5 or so. And just kind of picking at netherite as opportunities present themselves. So, but yeah, as we set up, this was our first guy, and we just keep rolling for mending. It's pretty important, and I marked him as the first librarian. And then we just kind of roll through and keep rolling trades until we get top tier at fairly good prices. And, you know, if as we're going we find something that's super valuable at the time, we'll pay a high price for it. Like Depth Strider 3, I'm not going to need more than 3 of those ever in my world. So, yeah, it's expensive, but who cares? I needed it on my boots early. And then when you see great prices on other things, Infinity, not super cheap, but that's a great one to have on your bows early on. So we just kind of pick and choose. And here, I was rolling for efficiency 5, and eventually it showed up as 4 at 14. I was like, well, once we had everything else, this is our last unassigned guy, and we were working down the road, and we were like, we got to get efficiency. If I find 2 other things that are too good to pass up on, we're out of luck. So finally, I was just like, you know what? It doesn't matter. For all of our tools, we're not going to run out of enchants to put on them, even if we double up the books. So yeah, we spend a few extra levels per tool, but I'm fine with it. And all these others are marked and labeled. So about the only one that I really think we could have done better on was Unbreaking 3 at 32. That's about our most pricey of anything that we have to pay for. And again, any more out of need to repair or just have something different to do, we'll come over and just trade these guys up, turn our fields as we just did, and be back in good shape. And of course, we decorated a bit inside with our jungle tree here, and that can grow our cocoa beans. We've got a nice big sugar farm outside for paper, and this is one of the few times we've actually spent some time down here recently. But yeah, I just find this design works really well for getting everything set up, and we just connected this to our nether portal, so we just added on a little annex to get through there. So that's kind of the lie of the land. We'll sleep now, but I just want to take full opportunity to... Actually, what am I doing? You go away. Well, okay, I already did pick up the box. Too full. So we talked about we need to... Oh, we got some leather. If we don't trade all our paper away, we can make a bunch more books for our trades. And we've got, if we need to, we can expand, get other lecterns. It's just generally nice to have a few extra when you're rolling trades. And at some point, I think we've got a channeling book, but like a loyalty 3 is a handy one to have when we do get a trident. We'll want to get impaling 5, I think, is another we'll want to have on there. So we'll get to all those in good time. But for now, let's get our bed on the floor and get to sleep. Get these sleepyheads back awake. All right, we hear the chirps. That matters, but we don't want to accidentally trade them a bed. You still don't need... It's all for you. You like carrots, though. Yes. Indeed. Oh, yeah. So happy. Alright. Who else was carrots? We don't have enough. You're not ready yet. You guys could reset from yesterday. Hopefully at least a couple of these guys will get to sail mode before we... But we can now go get our... Oh, and that should get... Oh, man, I didn't do the pick. And let's just load... Oh, actually, let's pull these back first. Ooh, I don't know what that blow was. Something else. Still got some browser stuff open, so that may be making PC noises. Alright, so we've gone on sale for a couple of these guys, which is great. He still doesn't want potatoes, though. You'll take beets now. Come on, get the axe. Take more carrots. You'll take sail beets and sail carrots. And sail melons. Alright, there's our axe. Tip top. Nothing else to do on those, but definitely heal up the pick. Get the old totem back on. Now, where are my pumpkin friends? You're on sale. Are we on sale? You're not on sale. You on sale? You're done. Last chance, friend. Alright, fine. At least we had even numbers. One more melon sale. Alright, so as you can see, we can do pretty well on emerald production. Not a big concern at this point. And that's why I don't need to worry about zombie doctoring all these guys. They can hang pretty well. And even trading up those, I'm still doing all right when it comes to extra stuff. Let's just make a stack of blocks. Where'd my... Oh, it's over here. Just hopefully that will top off 2 stacks back at the home base, or get us pretty close. All right, remaining emeralds away. Pick up this box. So that was obviously a detour, but not a bad one. Pink is still back collecting glass. I always like to kind of reset where are my shulkers at. So I think all the grays and the pink are hanging out at the darkroom spawn. So as long as they're accounted for, I'm okay, and lime has our seeds in it. Just for anybody else, these are extra tools. We got some maps, boats, extra beds, milk, all those kind of various things you don't use all the time. Oranges are fireworks, so rockets and a couple of elytra, and then potion box. Pretty simple and straightforward, and we like to keep an extra totem right on hand in case it's needed. So, that's kind of the lodge. We'll come outside quick and do a peek around. we call it the lodge because as we were building it up. Hi, fellas. How y'all doing? Keeping those mobs in check. As we were kind of building it up and just wanted to do kind of a light and large roof, we thought with it being open to the south, this is the southern edge, it was kind of like some of those mountain lodges where they're opened up with lots of sun absorption and then layered flat back. And the internal light helps our various villagers feel like they're appreciated when they hang out. And when they get scared, they help us raise new friends. So there we go. That's our very solar-friendly lodge. Lots of big views of the sun and the sky. Everybody stays happy. And back to our portal we go. So it was just a fun little trade. Got our XP up just a bit. And as we talked about, I think just for the sake of, it's kind of a weird time. I think this is, episode 91. A little bit of an odd time for a tour. But we'll see. Again, I want to reply back with the homework for the JD stream, which is on his Discord, and show off what I've got. And I don't know that it'll do anything major, but if anybody's curious and wants to come back, they may click through to a current episode. So I kind of want to give a world tour, just for anybody who hasn't been around and may want to see what all we've gotten up to so far. And while we're running here, so we're at Minecraft Day 736. We typically, and I'm kind of trying to rein this in a bit, we try to hold ourselves under 2 hours, depending on how engrossed we get in a project. Sometimes that runs a little wild, but I'm trying to get that back a little closer to an hour. I don't think I can be the type of streamer or YouTuber that holds everything at like 15-minute episodes and plays the game once a week and then acts shocked when he forgets what he was doing and all that kind of stuff. That's not how I play, and what I'm really trying to do in this world and all my worlds is connect with a community that plays hardcore solo, kind of like I do, or hasn't had the confidence to try playing in hardcore and actually do buildings and things like that. And so much like a streamer John Bams, I want all of this world recorded, so you don't have to feel, and while I totally respect what I saw in the JD tutorials, where his tutorials, would start with, all right, here's what I'm going to do for a ceiling, and then clicks back and, all right, this is how that turned out. Now I decided I wanted to make this change or whatever, and then, oh, hey, we didn't think to talk about our Bastion Farm. All right, easy. Yeah, so for anybody that may be checking us out, we're kind of doing impromptu tour and odds and ends, because I'm basically cooking glass at 2 different sites, and we got a lot of nether. This is our netherite grid. We're just down on level 20, I believe, and run a long way through, and we just back and forth, few hundred blocks. Most recently, now that we're well equipped, we just load up on fire potions and go fill in as we need to, and try to get as much ancient debris as possible. So that's my system for that. I found it's a little more efficient than. I got you twice. This is how we're ending up very long on cooked pork. We have a very good source right along here. When we get to it here, we'll take a peek. this area was once a Bastion remnant, and we cleared everything out. And as you can see, haven't done anything yet. I don't know how much you can actually farm that, or set it up so that everybody is forced to spawn in a particular area. Not really on my immediate list of things to do, but having done it kind of by accident, wow. Don't often see him just dead on coming through the tunnel. That's why we have to finish up our highway. All right. Oh man, see how bad what? Hey. All right, calm down. Everybody just relax. Yeah, so we need to, obviously, the glass, the first priority is getting our portals and things protected a little bit more nicely than just with netherrack filled framework. But we want these tunnels to be nice and expansive, so you don't, when you're out in the open, you can see the environment, but also not be attracting gassed fireballs the whole time. And for those who are familiar, yeah, that's the plan, is to eventually ice highway this run at least, so we're not doing the hop run the whole way. But this was how far we had to travel overworld to get a Badlands biome, and of course, seeing the base construction and using the two different types of sandstone, we needed to find that red. I was looking for it hard, and that was a few episodes of just boats and wandering and losing shulker boxes and all kinds of misadventures along the way. We're looking forward to having more glass tunnel there to deal with our lava. So it'll be a part of the tunnel as opposed to just being blocked off or masked away. It's a natural feature. We don't want to lose out on that. And we're getting pretty close here. Again, it's a long hop, and that's why I initially said I didn't plan to come all the way here, but haven't seen everything else. So I didn't highlight, but right back at our hub when we first came into the Nether, we were fortunate enough to have a fortress right there, and then another bastion right on the corner of it. So that was very cool. So here we are in the basement of our Badlands home, and welcome to anyone new that's checking us out. Hope you've enjoyed the bit of a tour. This is the interior of our much more kind of American Southwest cabin-y type structure. We'll get a night's sleep in first, and then go out for a bit of a tour. Hopefully not too much has spawned to trouble our world, except for an Enderman. So we went with a kind of sprawling cabin approach. Probably would have done better to go on the other side. And again, kind of period, trying not to break that, this is just a modern skyscraper. We may do that late game content, but for right now, this is maybe a little bit more 19th, early 20th century American Southwest, but in the idea of being in a Badlands environment, desert, very arid and presumably hot, lots of porch space, lots of open windows, so no glass, but lots of just fencing to keep the critters out. High, and we're still thinking we may do a loft space up here, but right now we have more space than we could possibly need. Here I replicate my base storage for every world that I start out on. So I roughly approximate it here, and it's more accurate back in my original base. If this was the main door coming in, first chest has all my my kind of tools and base supplies. Wood blocks, sticks, coal and iron are the core principles, and then backlog of torches. I typically put flint and then extra iron tools at the beginning of the world when you're churning through a lot of this stuff. it goes pretty quick. So having a place to store all that close to a crafting table is very handy. In this one, in a typical environment, it would be all logs, maybe saplings, until I've got real storage built up. We just kind of focus on the wood products in that one. This one is dirt and gravel, two things that obviously become trash very quickly. This is my treasure chest. In a real world, it's double sized, and we can look at our loots back home here in a bit. But we've got just a few odds and ends that I really didn't want to have to carry around. This is the Neapolitan stone chest, granite, diorite, and andesite. In this world, I haven't really found anything I want to do with them yet, but I don't get rid of them because you might need them. And here, just, in a starter world, that's where the cobble goes. As you're getting down hunting for diamonds, you're going to end up with a lot of cobble. So it usually goes in a corner. And this is usually a 7x7 footprint. So doorway, chest, crafting table, chest, doorway, chest, maybe extra furnace, but that corner doesn't matter. So this is the dirt and gravel chest. This is the treasure, another hallway, Neapolitan stones, cobblestones, food here, and just some odds and ends in this one. And then this is the kind of junk chest. So that will get you started in a world. I can't recommend that footprint enough. It's worked for me for years. And in kind of the homework sense, for the JD folks on the Discord, if you're checking this out, that's my early game hardcore strategy for storage. 8 double chest system, one with tools and major supplies, one with wood, one with dirt and gravel, one with treasure, one with the 3 junk stones, one with cobble and or smooth stone, one with food items, and one with monster loot / junk flowers, dyes, whatever. And by the time you fill up this chest with all that random stuff, you probably already hollowed out enough room looking for diamonds to build a bigger storage system like I had in mine downstairs, or at least a few extra overflow chests until you get handled out. Now here in the Badlands, we've used some varieties of terracotta on the darkroom spawner, so we've got some odds and ends, but just room to grow with the various colors there. And we had building supplies from this project, random rail and banner stuff, and empty. We sorted some of this back out later. So that's kind of the tour here. I really liked using a little bit for, again, ventilation, and there's vents up under the eaves on the sides, and I think those are kind of touches that are real world enough and break up your structures. When you're trying not to just make the rectangular house with the square walls, and it's something that JD seemed to be doing very well. But again, in real homes without AC, those ducts and airflow filters to let the heat escape as it rises up in a building are really important. So I like adding those in, and I like having the wide deck and the little grates in the crawl space to keep the spiders out. Those little touches that just help to add everything in. So that's kind of the world, at least as we've really developed. In a thumbnail in a previous one, we flew to the. How are we doing on time here? We're already at like an hour and 15, right? Yeah. I think it's quicker to fly or to go through the portal. I think it's probably the portal. Let's run back real quick, and just since we're doing it, we'll get the end stronghold. And I so love that buoy channel. It was where we found Savory, our second dog. But we built the channel when we were finding and then using our end portal for the first times, and something I just got a total kick out of. I kind of encouraged a question for me of how do those exactly work, and so we looked up the answer on stream here and then built them correctly as they would. And I just think, those little things that kind of add a bit of thought and realism and character to worlds are, you can be on a project months later and not thinking too much about what all you have going on, and come across something that you put a little bit of extra time and thought into and get a real kick out of it. It's like, oh, that's so great that we did that. Remember when we did that? And at the time, we didn't know how we were going to manage it or whatever, and then, now here it is. Look at it. So I really, for the viewers who have been following along and enjoying these videos in the past, they already know this is old news. Drop a tear, not into the lava. I think we just got an XP bulb. I really try to make an effort to balance building, advancements, and kind of resource gathering, and not get too stuck on any one thing for too terribly long. We talked about early in this episode, there's so many people that reach that attitude of, hey, Minecraft's a dumb game, the content is lame, there's not enough of it, and certainly that's been changing with the recent updates, but it's still commonly voiced, among younger players in particular, and I'm not trying to be mean about it, but the people that still stick around and are in their, later years like I am, they've already discovered that in its origins, or they knew it from the start because they were there, in its origins, Minecraft is a sandbox game. It's not, it's got an adventure element to it, certainly, but, this is not an RPG. You get experience and levels and things that you can use for advancements, and they add a whole richness to the game that you might not otherwise get to enjoy, but this is a sandbox to let you explore and expand and make it what you will. And whatever rules and conditions you put on yourself as you do that really dictate how long you'll get enjoyment and when you'll reach that point of, oh, this world is boring. I've done everything. And my personal take is, it only is boring when your imagination runs out. Or, and this is in part why I've always played hardcore, certainly since I first really was aware that it was there, some point back before 1.8. I don't recall exactly. It was maybe 2 versions before that. But it was fairly early on. I certainly didn't survive long in hardcore when I first got started. I was barely beyond using the loot chest when I started. When I was like, oh, there's a hardcore mode, I'm going to switch into that. And that does keep it fresh. You can have a world like this that you see, it seems like we're going to have this world forever. We're so secure, and then something unexpected happens, and boom, it's gone. It feels like just the other day. It was probably about a week ago, RL. We were carving out that bastion we just passed, and I accidentally hit the F1 button, and I'm using a wireless keyboard on a laptop, so I can't change the toggle off the toolbar and display. And I fell into some lava, and there were loads of piglins around. We were handling them. It was a little chaotic, but not imminent death type situation. And then I suddenly fell, and I was popping out of lava. The lava wasn't a big deal, but I was kind of trapped. And all of a sudden, I've got a bunch of different people peppering me with enchanted bows and all this, and I'm scrambling in a herd of piglins, all trying to kill me and wreck my day. And I got down to a half heart, and I didn't pop a totem. I already had one, so it didn't quite come to that level. But I couldn't even react to switch weapons or anything. I didn't know what I had because I didn't know what the F1 key did, and I didn't know what I'd hit. All I knew was that both my hands were gone, and I couldn't see anything in my toolbar to even know what was selected. It was terrifying, and I don't know if we escaped and I looked, or how I ended up getting back. But with like a half a heart, I somehow got everything back, got a golden apple, and kind of restored sanity to the world a bit. That was it. So again, we took the screenshot, but for folks who may be watching, doing the homework or checking things out, this is kind of my expanded storage, pretty standard stuff. What I do, sometimes I'll do like multiple rows of this. So far, I've only needed one, but the various wood types, and then saplings and leaves on the bottom, logs, and can overflow in between. The two dirts, and those have plenty of overflow along with gravel. Some of the sandstones, most of that is upstairs for construction. Cobble, stone, obviously use a lot, both crying and regular obsidian, but the crying kind of helps make that stand out. 2 each for the tricolored stones, ice area, and then just some wild card dyes and various dye products. Pearls, obviously we can, as soon as you're in the end, you can get plenty of those. Overflow leather, got a lot. Slimes, we don't have an on-hand slime chunk yet in this basement. That will likely change as we expand, but kind of a rare lack. This is our wool, white wool, colored wool, and carpets. Sea stuff, all the varieties, and then spaces for the eventual underwater temples, which we have not ventured into yet. I'd really like to get a trident, and still lower on the priority. Various green and vegetative stuff, and then the mob bases. Over on this side, I tend to emphasize nether and end products. So, we have the various stones, and along here we have the netherite and the various block types. We do colors for the 2 forests, so they get the various end products and overflow for each. Magma goes under magma, and I do try to minimize frames. Items in frames become entities, if I'm saying that right, and that can add to your lag. So don't, if you can, like down here, I know that all these are going to be netherrack unless I start cooking it down for bricks or whatever. I may at some point, but for the moment, you just come back with a lot of it. And even that I don't like to toss if I don't have to. And in a screenshot I shared with the JD group, this is just getting some samples of what the various blocks were, naming them, and then most of these are empty. We haven't done anything with them because a lot we haven't really made decisions on. About the only thing we did was that we were going to use polished blackstone, and I've got the few odd pieces here, and I actually switched out some of this storage here for polished. So that helped with all the overflow blackstone that we had. So that's the quick review of the storage. Let's drop off some of these, and let's take a quick look up when we put away the emerald boxes. Oh yeah, and then we want to fly and quick show off the buoys, and then we'll wrap this up, because that's about us done. We will fly back from over there. What are we doing? So this is an expanded storage. Again, remember we built this tower after we'd had a kind of an outdoor base camp and the little lean-to staircase there. So this was much larger, but it carries through my same 8 chest. All the doubles are the ones that I have in every world. So tools, logs, dirt and gravel, treasure, Neapolitan, stone, food, and mob/junk. And then I added in animal stuff and the banners. I added in a place where I can build sets. I've got an iron set up on a stand upstairs, and I keep saying I should do the same with the gold. And then, these are some of my first diamond stuff that I actually replaced before I had mending. At some point, we'll make a helmet and pants and just make those fully fully done, but we may make a full separate suit and just name these. This was our first diamond sword, that we ended up retiring those before we could get mending. But kind of fun stuff to just keep track of. We've got our netherite upgrade box. We've got our enders with all our shulkers. We've looked at all that. This is just overflow and emergency stuff here. We've got a couple of enders, but if we want to drop one somewhere as we build a new base or have a new location, there we go. We're set, and we keep growing our pork. Usually I'm a steak guy in Minecraft, but we're gonna have to go pork for a while here because why not? We've got so much of it from clearing that bastion. So that's our setup. I didn't put away the emeralds, was what I really meant to do. So we're not quite there yet. I thought we were a little further along, but as you can see, we've gotten lots and lots and lots of emeralds, lots and lots and lots of gold too, between harvesting blocks in the bastion, harvesting gold ore, and then having the Badland mines. We got lots of gold. So I mean, we could right now, if we had the beacon or the star, we could craft a beacon, no trouble. We could craft a couple of them. So the resources will never be a problem for a fully powered beacon. What is a problem is our Nether Fortress is not very conducive to how I like to set up my wither skull harvesting, I guess. Just wither fights. So here's our fortress, the first corner of it. This was our bunker to begin with, and we're in the process of beautifying it a bit. But yeah, as we first started, we kind of climbed up this hill to get up there, and we're fortunate we had nether wart and blazes, so we could start on our brewing and everything like that. But typically on the outer part, I like to kind of level everything out, make a floor, and have a big just kind of, open battling area for withers. And this, because it's in a forest, it's so choppy and blocked up, I'd really rather just find a different one and do it clean. But I keep thinking, as we expand these tunnels out, we're going to come across another one, and instead all we get are more bastions. So that's Minecraft. You don't know what world you're going to get thrown until you play it and go out and explore and discover. So this was our first linked portal for the end, and always just kind of fun to take a quick tour. We'll drop through. Pretty standard stuff. Around these, we've only fought the dragon once. We have 4 tiers, I think, on hand right now, and could do some more, or could respawn at any point with those. But I just figured I'd show off this. I do a couple of these, one on the other side of the island, and kind of a poor man's ender farm. You can look from a secure spot and pull over a whole bunch of them, chop them down, and not have to worry about getting overwhelmed without a whole lot of build. When you don't have supplies to build or anything like that, it's a pretty good way to get early XP. So that was kind of how we got up to the point of being able to apply all our early mending and such. And it's a great, if you're early on looking for pearls, that's a great way to farm those up. We got a double chest in there, which I'm kind of wondering, I won't care if it's just destroyed, but kind of wondering if when we do respawn the dragon, does that just get popped out of existence when it's there? We'll find out. And then we have our first portal. We found a bunch of cities, had pretty good luck with our spawn. Oh, what a disaster. That is not what we wanted to do. Oh, man. Alright, well, all told, between going to the end, I forgot we would pop out and had slept so far away. I even had the chance at the tower. I just decided to use the night to go through the portals and get to the end and not worry about sleeping. That's a problem. Again, something you don't think about as much in hardcore. The spawn location, it only comes up when you're returning from the end. It's not like in survival mode where if you die, that's where you're going to end up, and having a primary bed, having a backup set of gear and all that. None of that matters in hardcore. When you're done, you're done. So, and that's a reason I framed the enchanted golden apple, and we actually have two because that's how I got the banner with the old Mojang logo on it. Was by using one of those to make a pattern. But the enchanted golden apple, if you're first getting comfortable in hardcore, carry that around with you like you would the totem. Just lock it in to a spot on your toolbar so that if things are going really bad, you're in a fight, you get jumped by a bunch of piglins or something and you're not ready to handle them, munch that apple without hesitating, because dying with it in your hand is a different thing. And that, I've lost a lot of worlds with those sitting, but for me its effect isn't needed enough more than the golden apples on any regular basis. Usually if I die, it's a combination of factors, like it almost was in the Bastion. It's falling. It's a key command, something unfamiliar that I haven't dealt with, and in that case, I wouldn't have been able to get to the apple anyway. In a lot of those circumstances, if you crash in the wings and suddenly fall into lava or get stuck in a spider web or something, a lot of times you can't get to the apple anyway. But it's a good thing to have. I just frame it and put it up there because I don't, so often I'm working on projects. Every inventory spot is kind of precious to me, and I probably should, but I like to be able to look at it when I come home because I'm proud of it, and I'd rather, until I have another one, certainly, I'd like to keep it on display and enjoy knowing that I've found one. For anybody not familiar with the channel or the background and is still listening, thanks, by the way. Feel free to drop a comment. Let me know if you're also a hardcore player or just a Minecraft player. If you got any content up or a place where your world's on display, or any comments or feedback on what we've been doing today or the world you're seeing. If you are hanging out, my very first episode, and this was just trying out YouTube and knowing that this is something I wanted to do for a while. I first of all recorded for like 5 hours straight. Not recommended. Nobody really wants to hang out for that. But I actually had two worlds, because I had a first world, and then I unexpectedly died. There was a creeper in a desert temple that I didn't see. But ironically, I had spawned in close proximity to this desert temple. It was one I found on the very first day, kind of deal. And it was right next to a village. It wasn't the most ideal situation, because the villagers were too on top. Pillagers came, it would have gotten dicey as to whether we were having a raid spawnal. But I decided, hey, let's turn this into our base. Well, on my very first YouTube video ever, I pull an enchanted golden apple out of the very first chest I open in the basement of a desert temple. Incredible streamer luck. And I'm like, what did I do to deserve this? This is crazy. And sure enough, a few hours into the world, I've kind of converted out this desert temple. I think I'm all set. And next thing we know, boom, and I'm gone. I didn't even see it, and I had to kind of go go back and look, and I suspect that it came up the stairs from the lower room, that was left too dark, because I'd lit all the upper chamber and everything. You know, I didn't think it had dropped on me. But yeah, that's the way she goes in Minecraft, unfortunately. So we just want to do a quick flight, and then we'll call this kind of mishmash tour world done. We did a little bit of trading. We did a little bit of sand cooking. What am I trying to do here? All in good fun. Let's get some rockets, get some wings. So this is just one of my favorites. In addition to the big old jungle trees that we made, we've got icebergs here. And on our way to our stronghold, we discovered we had to cross all these ice fields. And I icebreakered a channel and then made buoys. And I was kind of like, you know, I remember buoys from being a kid. And, red port left, I believe, is how it goes. But I didn't know how they got oriented. I don't know if I remember. Was it up on this hill? Yeah, right in here. So that's where our stronghold is, where we had just gone through the portal to get to. But I just, I was like, if icebreakers, up in Alaska or something, maintain or keep a channel clear through an ice sheet, they'll mark it. But how do you know which side is the green and which side is the red when you're setting those up? And it turns out it's, something red right returning. So if you're returning to harbor from the open water to the coastal side of a channel, the red goes on your right side. And I hadn't known that, and I just made a bunch of wool buoys and placed torches in them so that they would keep the ice channel clear and give me a direct boat path back in. But that's kind of our early world in a nutshell. Let's see if we can do a bit more of that, but clear the. Yeah. Oh, here's the lodge again with its sugar farm. We haven't really seen that from a distance. And then right out here is our darkroom spawner. And just 2 layers inside for those of you who are familiar with the construction of those, all creepers. And all done out in kind of a various pattern, trying to use a little bit of the terracotta from our Badlands along with the sandstone theme that we have going. So I wanted to just pop back through here. I would imagine we didn't cook too much more glass. A little bit. But we'll kind of end where we... Wow. Let's not do that, and let's not leave the wings on. Yeah, we'll just kind of end up where we started. Kind of a throwaway, but fun. Stretch our legs, go see what's going on, do some harvesting, get some more XP and emeralds. We're only a couple layers away. We do want to name this our first bow. We're on its last legs of recovery from the anvil and combining with other bows. It's going to be too expensive the next time, so we want to name it while we still can, and then throw it on a frame, as a reminder. So pretty pretty good stuff. I think I just want to throw the wings. So we're still kind of at that. Oh, I left. Okay, whatever. Maybe we'll fly back home in the next episode. But I think we are going to wrap it up here at the same place where we began. Really enjoyed kind of touring back through low key after doing so much building on this darkroom spawner, kind of focus stuff, and then last night was kind of a throwaway and a chill, shoveling sand and starting the cooking for glass. It was nice to just kind of get out, revisit where we've been, and tour around things. So hopefully that works for everybody. One other thought I just realized here as we get back out, and I get a thank you up to you guys. For those of you who had watched the previous episode where we were just shoveling sand and talking about the the super flower blood moon? There's a lunar eclipse last night, May 25th, or actually it was this morning, so May 26th, 2021, at the time of this recording. Yeah, for those of you guys, I was pretty excited trying to get up. I did set my alarm about 4:30 this morning, and took a look outside. It wasn't looking too likely in terms of the sky. From what I could tell, I threw on a pair of shorts and a sweatshirt, walked outside, looked, and it was, as described, partly cloudy. And the way if it looked really promising, my idea was to kind of go on an early morning walk and head out a few miles to where I'm kind of up on an open hillside looking west to where the moon would be setting. But it didn't look favorable enough for me to start that early. So I went back to bed and slept till like 8. I really apparently needed some sleep, and it felt wonderful. So no lunar eclipse for me. For anybody who was wondering, chewing off their fingernails, going, what happened? Did Hambbage see the moon? I did not. But I appreciate it. Hope anybody else did. If you did, throw a comment. Let me know. For all the rest, thanks so much for joining us. As I say every time, if you're playing a video game or if you're watching videos, take this opportunity to take a break. Step away. Let your eyes and your body relax from the screen. Sitting still is probably one of the worst things you can do for yourselves long term. So do take breaks, build them in, and every hour or so get up. I always say get outside, check out. There's a big, wide, natural world, just like in Minecraft, outside our doors, and there's something new out there all the time to be seen. So do take opportunities to get up, stick your head outside. But until next time, take care of yourselves and take care of somebody else while you're at it. Just feels good to do so. Stay awesome, and we'll see you next time. Bye.